Páirc Chaoimh is our base tonight as the Allianz Hurling League returns, with Cork and Limerick gearing up for a cracking local derby. Both camps looking to get the year off to a good start. New Cork hurling manager Pat Ryan doesn't beat around the bush. He says his term will be a failure unless they win an All-Ireland. They've got 3 years to get there, and that journey starts in earnest tonight. Now, the league hasn't been a priority for John Kiely in recent seasons, but he'll want a good attitude from his side this evening nonetheless. The good news, Cian Lynch is back in the squad. These sides met twice last year, with Limerick winning the one that really mattered.
It's a repeat of the All-Ireland Hurling Final 2021. There's a man available, right man, right place. It is, of course, Shane Kingston. And you can see that this is no ordinary Allianz Hurling League match between two teams that are building a rivalry. Really impressive display by Cork. The clash of the ash. Here's a chance. It's Kingston. It's the back of the net. Incredible start. It's Kyle Hayes. Can he finish? Yes, he can. Magnificent. Limerick show the way forward. And the rest of the hurling country be ready.
And it all started back again today. Division 1 Allianz Hurling League. Look at that for a result in Chadwick's Wexford Park. Galway well on top against Wexford. Coming up later, Limerick and Cork here at Páirc Chaoimh. And in 1B, wins for Kilkenny over Antrim and Tipperary over Laois. Hello there, welcome Leaside for the start of another hurling campaign. Can Limerick peak at the right time? Or can Cork continue their good pre-season form? We'll find out tonight in the company of Donal Cusack, Joe Canning and Shane Dowling. Gentlemen, you're all very welcome. Donal, just a quick one to you first of all. Reading the headlines all week in the media, a lot of negativity towards this competition. The final is too close to the championship. Not enough at stake in terms of, relegation battles or excitement. But yet, you take Limerick out of it. Do the other counties not need a good league? And if so, why the cloud of negativity?
Yeah, well, look, Damien, the league has always been the second competition. Like, it's never been the championship, right? And that's stating the obvious. There's only one way of giving it, I suppose, a more heightened importance, and that's to give some sort of advantage when it does come to the championship based on your performance in the league. I would say also, when we went to the round robin, that really diluted the league advantage, because it's one of the most difficult things in managing sports team and as being a sports person is being able to peak at the right times. And you mentioned Limerick, right? Of course, there could have been better planning, right? Because if you look at, from a Limerick point of view, if Limerick got to the league final, 2 weeks later, they'd be playing against Waterford, and then 6 days later, they'd be playing against Clare in the championship. So your best team, there is no way Limerick want to get to the league final, in my opinion.
Yeah, but like even last year, I don't think Limerick went out to, let's say, lose any match either. I think most teams go out and want to win every game they play. And yes, it mightn't be of an importance if they win or lose, but definitely no team wants to lose, because you're building momentum slowly going into championship, and that's the vital thing. Maybe not, as you said, get to a league final, but definitely they want to win a couple of matches and breed new players for the championship.
And you'd also take, like, if you looked at the game last year, Damien, where Cork came down to the Gaelic grounds and played Limerick, for the first time in quite a while, Cork came down, or so it looked, locked and loaded. I mean, Shane Kingston got a red card, Declan Hannon hit the ground with a minute to go after getting another nasty challenge. Cork brought some bit of physicality, and I thought that, I said, Cork, with the league, Cork now came down to Limerick and they brought physicality, but they came back up here then to the first round of the championship, and they didn't bring that to the championship. So with the league, yes, there might be that importance, but you got to take learnings from league into championship, especially for teams that are trying to make the breakthrough.
I guess just from a hurling point of view, the window to promote the game is getting a bit smaller. Compare that to the football and the championship and setup that they have as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's only a couple of weekends, I suppose, of the league championship or the league in the hurling compared to the football. But at the same time, you almost have another league coming along in the provincial championships. So maybe it's something to look at for another day. But I think teams will kind of gear towards the championship more so than gear towards the league final.
But I think the point that Shane that you're making there, right? If you look at that, what relevance to that game that Cork played Limerick in the league, what relevance did that have when it came to the championship? And that's the reality, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I get 100%. It's like Cork here tonight. Cork need to focus on themselves. Limerick are in a no-lose situation, right?
Limerick can't lose tonight.
They're going for 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Cork need to focus on themselves. But in reality, the only way that this tonight's game will have a big influence when they meet in the championship is, unfortunately, if some player got injured.
Okay, well, let's focus on tonight's game and let's hear from the managers in a moment. But first of all, to set the scene, our match commentator, Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Damien. New manager means new opportunities, and so Pat Ryan gives 4 players their chance to shine in the Alliance League for the very first time. Conor O'Callaghan from Drumtariff in North Cork is selected at corner back. Well, there's also a league debutant right beside him at full-back, Glen Rover's own Downey. Brian O'Sullivan will wear the number 8 jersey alongside the experienced Luke Meade, while Cormac Poussang is another newcomer at left half forward. Interesting to see the experienced Patrick Horgan at the edge of the square. John Kiley doesn't have to experiment so much, although he gives goalkeeper David McCarthy from Glenroe the number 1 jersey this evening. Declan Hannon has Dan Morrissey and Colin Coughlin as his wingman, while Barry Murphy is selected in the middle of the field. Up front, Adam English is a great prospect, and he will wear the number 13 jersey in a full forward line that contains Seamus Flanagan and Oisín O'Reilly from Kilmallock. Well, Damien O'Mara has been speaking to both managers, Limerick's John Kiley, but first, Cork manager Pat Ryan.
Pat, new man on the sideline, you've worked with an awful lot of these players in the past. How beneficial is that with the transition into the new regime?
Yeah, look, it's fantastic that you know the fellas straight away, you know. Look, obviously we're back in the field kind of maybe 9-10 weeks, and look, that's been a huge advantage for us that we know the lads, and look, in fairness, we've got a very motivated bunch, and that's credit to the management team that were there before us, and look, they're being very professional in their dealings with us and the way they're going about their business at the moment.
And it's been a barren spell for silverware for Cork, and I would imagine the league is quite a priority.
Yeah, look, I suppose, from our point in the league, look, we're looking to be as competitive as we can in every game, try and find combinations on the field and get a kind of a settled team going forward. And obviously we need to find a couple of players as well. Look, we've 4 championship matches in 5 weeks in the Munster Championship, so we'll need a strong panel for that, you know.
You've spoken very openly about the run from the league into the championship and the concerns that might cause. Yet the blueprint last year was to taper from the league into championship. Where does the league fit into your plans for this year?
They're all very, very important games. That's one thing for certain, sure. And, you know, you're looking to improve week on week. So, listen, tonight we're just going to get a measure of where we're at. Obviously, Cork have a lot of work done and we'll have a fine side. So that'll be a really good test for our lads. And it'll give us a measure of where we're at and where we need to go from here going forward.
Do you expect there to be some cobwebs?
No, this will be 4 weeks. Good hard training done now since Christmas time. So, listen, there's no excuses. It's a fantastic surface, you know, ideal conditions. Really looking forward to the game and hopefully it'll be a good cracking game.
Yeah, both managers ready to rock, and Don Logue, Pat Ryan has brought in some good club players, brought in some young lads as well, but Patrick Horgan is back in his thoughts again as a starting player. Came out in the last week or two just saying that he didn't feel he was treated too fairly last year. Where do you stand on Patrick Horgan? It looks like he still has something to prove at this stage of his career, despite the fact that he's won all he has. And has he got it to prove it to himself maybe at this stage?
I don't think Patrick's anything to prove to himself. I don't think he's anything to prove to anybody, to be honest, right? Other than that, like, the important things from that interview, from my point of view, was that it's obvious he's still got his enthusiasm. He's one of the best forwards Cork ever had. Like, I know there was maybe some commentary around that interview, but we know the way the media works, right? Let's be fair to Patrick here now, right? They took the most dramatic headline. He also said that any player that gets dropped is bound to feel that way, and maybe other players wouldn't think that he was treated unfairly. So I'd say fair play to him for saying what he thought, right? I would also say the whole context of it, with the way, as I said, the way the media works, it wasn't, maybe the media weren't as fair as him, as maybe as an example.
It was an obvious line to take, though.
It's an obvious line to take, but also you need to read beyond that, Damien, right? Okay, so I don't think that'll bother Patrick. I think that he puts enough pressure on himself, and the last thing I'd say on that as well is, like I said, fair play to him for giving his opinion. Half the fellas actually, they'll be giving out about giving his opinion. Will be giving out about players, giving bland interviews, right? Yeah. He's after scoring 22 goals and 505 points for Cork. I don't think he owes much to Cork.
Yeah, and another player then that we're all delighted to see back, Joe, is Cian Lynch. Just in terms of what we know what he's going to bring. He's a wizard, but how will they use him this year?
It's hard to know. I think during the league, it's probably just to get a couple of minutes into him, maybe 20 minutes in the next couple of games, and just get his sharpness back. Like, he'll be fit, he'll be probably fit enough for the last number of months training away, and just get his kind of match sharpness back. They'll want him for championship. I don't think you'll see too much of him probably in the league. Maybe towards the later stages he might get the last 2 games under his belt, but it's great to have him back. Like, one of the best hurlers in the championship, obviously, so it's just great to see him back on the field again.
Yeah, he looks super fit there as well. Shane, a lot of people say to me and say to people that we meet along the gig, this Limerick team picks itself, but John Kiley surely won't operate like that. There's probably 5 under-20s gone in, but can you just talk to me about the way the team lines up tonight? What catches your eye and who catches your eye?
Yeah, I suppose looking at the team, there's one very obvious thing for me looking into it that I was surprised with, but when I actually thought deeper into it, it makes great sense. That's the midfield pairing of obviously Darragh Donovan that's been there, and Barry Murphy from Doon as well. I mean, like, his nickname in Limerick then was Barry Blocks, you know, because his work ethic is so good. Like, he's a great hurling brain, he's a super striker of the ball. In general, his work ethic is really, really good, and like, you know, people won't be accustomed to seeing him midfield. He's more of a corner forward. Got a goal against Tipperary in the first round of the championship a couple of years ago, so that's one definitely for, I suppose, people looking in will know the obvious names that are there, but Barry for me midfield is just another, it could bring a new dimension to his game, but he does have it in the locker. He's a very, very good player.
But they definitely need 1 or 2 more to push the likes of Hegarty, Tom Morrissey and the wings. I don't think they're getting that in the last few years, and they need these guys to be pushed even more. Do you know?
They do.
And the likes of Barry Murphy is obviously
100%, Joe. Yeah, and I mean, you look, you're like William O'Donoghue and Darragh Donovan. Is it going to be the midfield pairing for the championship? You'd say it probably is, but you know, pending form, pending a player getting injured, whatever it is, they need to find cover.
Don't look, just a final one to you before we throw over to our commentary team. What are this Cork team going to bring in 2023? Looking on the field, they're bigger and taller than have been in the past. Pat Ryan has emphasised work rate. What do you think that is Cork need this season?
Well, I think what you're looking for from a Cork point of view tonight is, number one, have Cork closed the gap physically, right? Limerick stole a march on most teams over the last 10 years, but they definitely stole a march on Cork in terms of physicality. That has to close. The second one, you're looking for a pattern of play, a pattern of character, hopefully that fighting spirit to emerge, and also some of the challenge positions that we have, the likes of our full back line, and attackers who want to hunt. That's what Cork are looking for.
OK, well, let's see how the drama unfolds tonight and join our match commentary team, Brendan Cummins. But first, Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Damien. Welcome indeed to Páirc on a beautiful night. The stars are shining overhead. We've even got lights from the moon as well shining down on us, as well as the floodlights. It's been a long time since we saw Cork and indeed Limerick, the All-Ireland champions. July 17th was the date of the All-Ireland final. Tonight, it's Saturday night, February 4th in Cork. And what a crowd we have here in Páirc all roads from different directions, East Cork, North Cork. We're all heading to the city centre here. And it really is a fantastic evening here. We're looking forward to this game of hurling. There's going to be a moment's silence here for the late Billy Galligan, who died peacefully in Atlunkard nursing home last Wednesday. He was deeply involved with Clahon GA, but as a player where he won several senior football championship medals and the coach. Billy actually was a native of Cork and won Munster and All-Ireland junior and intermediate medals. He also won Cork County Senior Hurling Championship medals with Blackrock. Our deepest sympathies from all of us in RT Sport to his loving family. Our Yeshde Gurevan.
You also want to remember our deepest sympathies to your Limerick families and the passing of their daughter, Callie. Their sympathies to their dad, Anthony, mom, Lynn, sister Kate, brother Luke, and child Patrick. Your Yeshde, Reverend
With the moment silence over, we're continuing to pause here in Páirc for our national anthem. Wonderful atmosphere here on the banks of the River Lee. Fergal Horgan, the match referee, 3 times an All-Ireland referee in charge. Limerick have won the toss. They're going to play from left to right. And we look forward to a new season, inter-county season, split season. From now until the end of July, we can enjoy the inter-county action. Limerick won the toss. They're playing from left to right, down from the city end to the Blackrock end. Ball is there in the middle of the field, as you can see. Limerick come charging forward with centre half forward David Reedy getting a touch. Ball bouncing all over the place. Cork putting in the hits, getting the ball away just a little bit. Nice little flick forward over towards Adam English. The referee saw the infringement, saw that the Doon player was being held back. First free of the evening in Páirc.
Yeah, Marty, it's going to be one of the problems for Damien Cahalane if he's caught out in the wing there with Adam English like he was, with loads of grass around him. The pace that Adam English has is always a threat. Just have to pull him back there.
David Reedy from Drummonalaka, about 2 miles from Kilmallock. Very good free taker. Puts that over the bar.
Cork had left a big gap down the middle of the Limerick defence. The hole there, and Patrick's coming out.
Patrick Collins goes for distance. Dan Morrissey getting a touch. In the original programme, he was named at full-back, but late changes here meant that he's moved to wing-back. He'll be wearing number 3. There's Aaron Costello, who's one of those late changes. He's picked up an injury just over his right eyebrow. A little touch of blood there. There's a yellow card being shown as well. And that goes to Robbie O'Flynn.
Yeah, Fergal Horgan indicated it might have been just a high tackle. It was very early to get a yellow card.
David Reedy now back between his 45 and 65. Heading towards Blackrock. Heading straight between the posts and over the bar. 2 shots, 2 frees, 2 points. Played with Kildare back in 2017 when he was teaching in Naas. Joe Quaid heard all about it at the time and brought him into the squad. His performances were so good that John Kiley brought him into the team as well, into the Limerick side. Sideline ball. Going to Cork. Conor Lahan from Middleton. 30 years of age now. Made his championship debut against Galway back in 2011. Had a wonderful championship season with Middleton last year. And obviously the referee has been informed of that blood injury to Aaron Costello. A little bit of medical attention required. Meanwhile, Conor Lahan will go short with the sideline cut. Little bit of hockey then, give it back. In comes Big Dan, giving it towards Colin Coughlin. Going wide, too wide in fact for Tom Morrissey to reach it. And the concession of the possession again. Number 5 is coming on, that's Fergal O'Connor. Just coming on for Aaron Costello. That's a blood substitution. I'd expect Aaron to return very shortly. Conor Lahan is busy with the sideline cuts. He went short the last time in front of our position down here.
He is, Martin. It's the modern game of hurling out there at the moment. There's only one forward inside the Cork half the pitch as Limerick run the ball up the field in a wave. You can see all those green jerseys. That's because they've committed so many forward, and here he is by himself.
Long ball, good hands. Seamus Flanagan, nice turn, good defending. Cork come away with it. Release it over to Sean O'Donoghue from Inishcara, who also had a good club season here in Cork County. Damien Cahalane into the centre. Good work by Brian O'Sullivan, one of the 4 debutants for Cork in the Alliance League. Down towards Patrick Horgan. A little buzz of excitement, a little cheer. Nothing to prove. He's done it all before. He drops it in, and just to the left and wide. David McCarthy is new to the scene, but he's got a great CV. Won an All-Ireland under-20, won All-Ireland back in 2015 with Dermot Burns and company. Now emerging, given a chance instead of Nicky Quaid tonight. Ball into the centre, rather unusually. Limerick give the possession away rather easily, but then charge in. Superb. Great work rate by Tom Morrissey. The 20, 13. Takes too many steps. Fergal Horgan absolutely correct. Free out for Cork.
Yeah, no doubt. The call was right there. You see him once he gets inside here. Normally you'd expect him maybe to give that little bounce on the ground at the surface the way it is, but took that extra step too far.
I can tell you that Aaron Costello is back. Fergal O'Connor is now off again. Good work here by Robbie O'Flynn. Full of determination. Conor Laha. Front of the stand between the 45 and 65. It is to the left and wide. There was a buzz. A little trickle of excitement. It was a little bit premature, I'm afraid. Second wide of the match for the home side. Ball comes down for his Kieran Joyce. Good work this time by Sean O'Donoghue. A little bit of a drag, a little bit of a pull. And that's going to be a free end for Cork.
Yeah, Rich English there is going to have his hands full tonight with Patrick Horgan. See the way he gets his body in line there. And Richie just clatters into the back of him. There's nothing he could do really to try to stop. That's years and years of experience down there, Marty.
3 times an all-star. Patrick Horgan gets his first free of the evening. Long puck out. Ball heading towards the sideline. So too is the Limerick man. Gerard Hegarty.
Tommy O'Connell there again. It's just a touch of inexperience. That's the league is all about too, though, Marty. But, you know, not to be diving in there. Use the sideline as an extra defender. There was no need to push David Reedy on the back and give him a free shot at goal here now.
Yeah, it was David Reedy. I knew Gerard Hegarty wouldn't be pushed over the sideline that easily.
He wouldn't, but he's helping you tonight, Marty, with the boots. He can be seen from space.
All-Ireland winning manager John Kiely. David Reedy. His third free. This one is right and wide. First wide of the match for Limerick.
Cork are leaving nobody in the 40-yard square around the Limerick half-back line. They're hitting the wings on the puck out.
Well won by Dan Morrissey. Attacking the possession, but he gives the ball away. A chance for Conor Lahan. And he sends it wide again. 3 wides for Cork. Disappointing in terms of accuracy. First 8 minutes, Cork are working hard. It's Lahan again. Floating this one in towards Pat Horgan. David McCarthy never took his eye off the ball. Declan Dalton is in there. Limerick come away with it. Declan Hannon. Limerick have it with Gerard Hegarty. Dan Morrissey. Down towards Seamus Flanagan. Nice control. Good wrist work. Again, the passing is a little bit poor. Conor Lahan is back there helping out his defence. Damien Cahalai. West Cork man from Castlehaven, playing with the Bars for a long, long time. Sean O'Donoghue, crossfield ball, getting a little touch was Richie English. Cork putting the pressure on. 3 Limerick defenders there. Enough to avert the danger. Hand passing it away, and that too goes astray. Good work on this occasion by Aaron Costello. I think it was Damien O'Mara said it to John Kiely about being a little bit rusty. I think the All-Ireland champion, both teams are showing a little bit of the winter season.
Small bit, yeah. I saw Cork playing against Tipperary in the Munster League final and conceded an awful lot of frees with just tackling and leaving their hand in the tackle, and conceded a lot of frees here now in the first 10 minutes of the game.
It's a great effort.
And punished.
Oh, wonderful strike by David Reedy inside his own 65-metre line. 3 points for Limerick, 3 points for David Reedy. Batted down, good play. The road Hegarty from the middle of the field, sends it back, and with the help of the post, it's over the bar. You just can't beat class.
No, Darragh Donovan as well did the donkey work around the middle. He spotted the puck out was coming, broke it down to Hegarty, and he just did the rest.
Tom Morrissey sending it back. Goalkeeper Patrick Collins, like David McCarthy down at the other end, kept his eye on the ball all the time, survived the initial challenge, puts it into the space. Nice stick work, pulling the brakes is Robbie O'Flynn. Thought that'd be a great point if it goes over the bar, but it goes to the left and wide again. Fourth wide of the match. Good work by right half back Tommy O'Connell. Adam English laying it back.
Yep.
And that is superb.
Colin Coughlin.
Great point by Colin Coughlin from Ballybrown.
And he was supporting the attack 4 or 5 minutes ago again when Seamus Flanagan didn't put the ball into him. He's bowled enough at wing back for such a young man with a great score.
Referee spotting the foul by Aaron Costello and Robbie O'Flynn, and that's going to be a free for Cork.
There's well, Marty, off the ball. That man, your shot there. Robbie is doing unbelievable work trying to make space and tire out, we'll call it, the corner back, and he gets a free there.
Patrick Horgan, 34 years of age, in his debut against Tipperary back in 2008. Still taking the freeze for his county, and still raising the white flag. 5 points to 2 with almost 12 minutes to go. 12 minutes gone, I should say. Ball comes straight out, however. Coming back, Luke Meade. Oh, excellent play, Luke Meade. Yeah. Took the ball on the run straight from David McCarthy's puck out and sent it back with profit.
You can see the space there in front of Hegarty. He read it so well. That's the pace, Luke Meade, and this is the accuracy then of the skill to drift the ball in over the bar.
Line ball has gone to Limerick. Sean O'Donoghue and Adam English. That'll be an interesting clash over the next little while. The road Hegarty laying it back. Running onto it was Cormac Bussang, one of those 4 debutants. The Red are just not working for Cork. They've scored 3 times, but they've registered 5 wides now.
Yeah, really well there to break it up. You ask, could you carry it that little bit further? Shot from the sideline.
Good hands again. David Reedy. Nice ball inside. Runs on to Seamus Flanagan, trying to flick it back. But Barry Murphy just didn't quite come off. Good wrists again by Conor Lahan. And away goes Robbie O'Flynn. Great run. Great shot. And it went across the face of the goal. His work rate is impressive. And his skill work is also equally of a high level. Look at this.
This is Cork superpower. We're always saying it. Once they get you one-on-one green grass like that, they have unbelievable pace just past the post. But John Kiley's going mad below with some of his players, especially in the forwards, about flicking the ball around. With Garrod Hegarty just a careless pass backwards, and then Seamus Flanagan there as well that gave Robbie O'Flynn the opportunity on the counter-attack.
Declan Hannon, Darragh O'Donovan, Tom Morrison. The 3 of them combined for a ball that's sailing between the posts and over the bar.
Yeah, much better. More certainty in the way Limerick moved the ball is what we're used to. Getting the shot away with his feet planted.
Short puck out between Sean O'Donoghue and Patrick Collins. Collins goes long the second time. Batted down. Kieran Joyce is fouled, and that's going to be a free for the Cork number 6.
Yeah, Fergal Horgan is I'd say taking out the book to tick him, or maybe give him a yellow card for just a high tackle. Yeah, yellow card, he's consistent. Robbie O'Flynn got one in the first minute of the game. He's just explaining there that anything above the shoulder is the way he's dealing with it.
He's on his own 65. Patrick Horgan. He's going for it. It's just swinging again. Wrong side of the post. We're now 7 wides for Cork. David McCarthy aims for Tom Morrissey. Runs on. Ends up with the Morrisseys anyway. Dan and Tom. Ball into the centre. Kieran Joyce. Not a great ball from a Cork perspective. Limerick defence under no great pressure. Sean Finn. Diagonal ball. Added to by Gerard Hegarty. Gone back is Tommy O'Connell. On quite an amount of ball in this opening half. Luke Meade, Newcestown, has the support. Saw that the support was there with Brian Roach from Bride Rovers, and that is sailing between the posts. Good play by Cork.
Great score. Tommy O'Connell did really well, secure possession, which allowed him to get up the pitch. But that's more like it, Martin. Even Cork get inside like that, you just need to carry the extra 5 or 6 yards to be sure.
Coming through the middle, Declan Hannon. Not one, but two in support. One of them is Darragh O'Donovan. Looks at the target and raises the white flag for the first time from his perspective. Great-hearted player.
That's trademark runs in the middle just to take the pop pass. Here's Gerard Hegarty.
Puck out, goes a little bit astray. Can Gerard Hegarty punish the mistake? Yes, he can.
I think it's a great idea trying to tap the ball over Gerard Hegarty's head at 6'6", whatever he stands at. He's punished it very well.
Patrick Collins this time goes long down towards Conor Lahan. Limerick have the possession, ball released as you saw. Robbie O'Flynn heading towards acres of green grass. Darragh O'Donovan was doing his best to hook him, but Robbie O'Flynn. That is just excellent play by the Aaron's own man from Glanthorne.
Cork needs to do more of that. When Don Loeb before he handed over, used a great word, and that's hunt. Yeah. They do need to hunt down him. They did it there in 10-15 seconds. It's not easy, but if you're going to try to win or get a rhythm or style of play going, that's what they need to do. And a great score from Robbie O'Flynn.
Gerard Hegarty. I think there's no doubt about the free there.
And that's a great battle between him and Kieran Joyce there, you see. Great catch from Hegarty.
I wouldn't like to be marking him myself anyway, that's for sure.
No, no better man than Kieran Joyce either, in fairness to him. For a young man, he's a world of experience, really. But you're right, Gerard Hegarty is very, very powerful in the air.
David Reedy is going for his 4th point of the game. Just inside the Cork 65. He's on fire. Everything is going over the bar. 9 points to 5. And coming up, of course, League Sunday. Alliance League Sunday returns tomorrow to round up the opening weekend of the Hurling League. We'll also be looking back at round 2 of the football leagues. That's from 9:30. Saturday Live, of course, next Saturday. We've Limerick back in action again as they host Clare in a repeat of that gripping Munster final last year. Build-up is from 6:30 on RT2. Plenty of action coming your way on RT Sport. You're live right now with Seamus Flanagan. Giving it back far as Colin Coughlin. He's already done it once. He's going for his second, but this one is wrong side of the post. It's also Limerick's second wide of the game.
His Gerard Hegarty has gone a little bit more down the middle, more central. And having a bigger influence on the game because of it.
Declan Hannon laying it back. Declan Hannon coming in to lend assistance to Aaron Costello. Good work here by Cormac Bosang, trying to pull it first time. Good work. Richie English is there. Limerick come away with it. Tom Morrissey is there. So too is Declan Hannon. Into the centre. Here comes Big Goodroad. Certainly with those boots, as you said, Brendan, you could see him from outer space. Ball comes out for Barry Murphy. Limerick were under pressure momentarily, but now they go into counter-attack mode. David Reedy.
Seamus Flanagan one-on-one inside now, and they're just not giving it into him.
Road Hegarty. And that says between the posts. But you were right, Brendan, there was one-on-one on inside there.
There was, yeah. They tried to get it in. Just that look there, but then no, it's not on. Let's take the simple point. That's the trademark of Limerick, Mark, to be fair. It's death by 50, 20, 25, 30 points. If the goal comes, well and good, but they're not going to force it.
Sean O'Donoghue makes a bit of space, but the space is tightening all the time. James Owens is the linesman over on that side of the field as David Reedy was putting a halt to Sean O'Donoghue's gallop initially. Free is going to be given to Cork. Going to be taken by Patrick Collins. Hits it powerfully. Dropping in around the house. David McCarthy did well under the pressure. Probably shouldn't have dropped it, but he was under pressure with the Cork forwards coming in on him. And that's over the bar from Patrick Horgan.
Yeah, he did well to recover the error. Sometimes you need to take a step out and catch that maybe into your midriff rather than just below the knees. But again, this man here, Patrick Horgan, he's got to make a statement too tonight. Fair to Patrick Horgan, there's a lot of press during the week, and it can be sometimes no matter how experienced you are to carry that, and he certainly is in there tonight.
Luke Meade. That's the sort of ball that the forwards would love, particularly if your name is Patrick Horgan.
Yep.
Taken down outside the 20-metre line. But that diagonal ball that Limerick have worked and perfected so effectively over the last number of years, that's the sort of ball that the Cork forwards need to work on as well.
It is, but they need to make the runs more consistently to do this. Now, that's great from Patrick Horgan. You know, that's exactly what he can bring to this Cork team, obviously, and he's got to be in his bonnet, there's no doubt about that. And the first league game is just to show that, look, I'm going nowhere. And he gets onto a ball like that and spins. There's only one thing you can do is take him down.
Dan Morrissey on the goal line with his keeper, David McCarthy. Cork's top scorer in the championship of all time with 22 goals and 495 points. Top scorer in the league as well with 22, 557. Intimidating when you hear those kind of figures. That's an easy point he's added to his collection. As Cork reduced down the gap a little bit. That's Sean O'Donoghue that has picked up an injury. Championship debutant against Clare back in 2018, and a Munster under-21 football medal actually back in 2016 when he was captain. So a dual star, but concentrating these past few seasons on the game of hurling. Everybody is back in position. I'm just watching Fergal Horgan. He's giving a finger wagging from a distance. I'm not too sure who that was aimed at, Brendan.
It's aimed at Damien Cahalan, which is swinging out at Rod Hegarty and won't even break into his face, which is fair enough, I suppose. It's one way to stop it.
Damien Cahalan, I think I said it the wrong way around. I think he was a Bars man first. I think born and bred in the city. Of course, his dad, Niall Cahalan, out and out Castlehaven man. Cahalan's, all the boys and girls have produced so many great displays for their teams, for club and county. Ball into the middle. Declan Hannon reads the game so well. Seamus Flanagan willing to take on Owen Downey. Owen Downey has other ideas in his mind. Ball is quickly flicked forward for Conor Lahan. Lahan cutting across. Took a little bit too much out of it. Losing the possession. It's a Limerick free.
It's Garrod Hegarty again. Just the way he flicked the ball away. Comes in here, see him? Just a lovely little flick to get the ball away. Then get the body around the ball, then they pick up and draw the foul. But that work around the middle third since Garrod Hegarty went in there has been really, really impressive. Just the size and strength of what he does, and then have the finesse of the flick to break the ball away.
The slither has an added ingredient tonight. It's a little bit different. That's that red spot. There's a chip in the slither. You've been on the hurling committee, Brendan, so you explain it.
Yeah, it's just the official now match ball, I suppose. The chip says Tor Neil inside it. It doesn't say how fast the ball is going or anything like that. It just confirms it's an official match ball. So it's just modernise the spec of the ball and make sure that across all of our games for the rest of the summer that the official match ball has been used. And importantly as well, Marty, that we know where the ball is coming from, where it's been produced, where it's been manufactured.
Cork manager Pat Ryan, the stats aren't great. 16 scoring chances we have, 7 scores and 7 wide so far after 26 minutes of play in this first half. Statistics tell their own story on an evening like this evening. They've fought back well, though. They haven't lost heart. And you'd certainly sense if they put the ball in quickly into Patrick Horgan again with that diagonal ball, they have the potential with Robbie Flynn beside him.
It's just 1 or 2 good decisions. Take the ball 5 or 10 yards further when you're carrying it, just to make sure the shot is the key. But Limerick are all back here, Marty, as well. You can see the amount of green jerseys. They don't want to give space to Cork to run, and they're just suffocating them out there at the moment between the 45 and 65 of Limerick.
2 men up for Limerick. Seamus Flanagan is one of those. The second is Oisin O'Reilly. Patrick Collins. Brian O'Sullivan from Kanturk. Following in the footsteps of Anthony Nash and Aidan Walsh, producing some inter-county stars in North Cork, with the barony of Duhallow. Ball drops in. David McCarthy. Dan Morrissey. To Barry Murphy. Fully recovered from that cruciate injury. Garrod Hegarty with that diagonal ball that when it comes to championship, I've no doubt they'll have perfected. Conor Lahan is getting on quite an amount of ball in the middle of the field. Comes out for his Conor O'Callaghan from Drumtariff in North Cork. Good hands on this occasion by Sean Finn. Type of ball that won him 4 All-Stars in the past. 4 in a row. Little toe poke of the boss of the hurley doesn't gain any ground. Limerick are there again in numbers. Barry Murphy's the number 9. David Reedy is the 11. Ball comes out. Cork trying to scoop it up. Garrod Hegarty is waiting for it. Under pressure. Tries to chip it up. Cork are there. Takes 3 to stop him. Ball bouncing all over the place. There's a hurley on the ground, but the slither is in the hand of Tommy O'Connell, who's performing well. Giving it out for his own Downey. The Glen Rovers man is the full-back, and he's the one that scores. Brilliant play. League debutant. And that is very impressive.
That's a great score, showing the forwards how it's done. Good bravery there to take the shot on and get it over the bar.
And not that long ago, it was double scores. But Cork have worked hard to get back into contention.
They have, Marty, but they've had a couple of shots in the last 2 minutes of play there. 50, 60 yards, 70 yards, hitting long balls in. They should just work it.
Tom Morrissey floating this in. It's dropping. Seamus Flanagan. Good work here by Adam English. Can he keep it in? He can't. It's out for a 65. Niall O'Leary is going to be introduced for Cork. Player that's going off is Sean O'Donoghue. We saw him taking an injury a while ago, but Niall O'Leary is a fine hurler from Castlelyons. Actually made his championship debut against Limerick back in 2019. Played centre-half back with St. Coleman's in the Harty Cup, but Sonadon, who obviously picked up an injury.
So it's that tangle with David Reedy over the sideline. He probably picked up a dead leg, I'd say, is what it looks like.
Heading towards the 30th minute. And Limerick haven't scored since the 20th minute. It's a 10-minute period that Cork seem to have not quite taken control, I would suggest, but certainly worked harder. This ball is dropping in over the crossbar. Good score. 11 points to 8. David Reedy again. Limerick not pushing up on the Cork full back line, but still Patrick Collins goes for distance. Going down that wing, Tom Morrissey is there. So too is right half forward Brian Roach of Cork. Limerick seem to always come away with it though, a lot of the time at least. Rd.1, David Reedy. Back to Tom Morrissey. The diagonal ball again, Cork anticipated. Ball goes back for his own down. He's already scored a point. Now he's doing his primary job of defending. In comes Niall O'Leary. Seamus Flanagan dispossesses him. He resisted the temptation of picking the sliotar off the ground, and Niall O'Leary comes away with it. Time to look around. He plays it down the wing. There were players available. Declan Hannon.
That's the problem, Marty, there. Sorry. When Cork get the ball there, they need to walk the ball 10-15 yards. They can hit it long because Limerick have 4 or 5 waiting. Cuteness from Limerick gets the shot away, but it's just wide. But they do need to walk the ball to that middle third. When they play and they got back into the game 3-4 points in a row, it was because they worked the ball well. And they're trouble here now with Owen Downey. He's down just in that tussle.
It'd be a huge loss. Just to tell you what else is coming down the track in our programmes. Ireland opened with a wonderful win today in Cardiff in the Guinness Six Nations. If you missed it, you can catch the highlights on Against the Head, plus all the action from the opening weekend of the Six Nations. That's Monday from 8 o'clock. Something to look forward to. Ireland versus France, of course, next Friday. Our cameras will be back down here in Cork as the under-20s host France in Musgrave Park. The build-up is from 7:35 here on RT2. And then, of course, my word, what a big one. Number 1 and number 2 in the world meeting the Aviva. That could be an early championship decider. Ireland against France builds up from 1:15 Saturday lunchtime. We'll all be glued. Looking forward to it. There's the ball here in Páirc tonight. Heads down towards that full forward line. Conor Lahan is covering a lot of acres of Croke Park. Ball is sent in quickly. Declan Hannon sends it down the middle. Good hands by Tom Morrissey, giving it back for the left half back, Colin Coughlin. On for his Barry Murphy. Dropping it in, and that is going over the bar. Brilliant. So simple, but so effective.
Yeah, it's a great score. Watch. Colin breaking the tackle there. He gets it inside. It's a simple game when you can break the tackle, Marty, like he can.
But that's the point you were making, Brendan, earlier. When the Cork defence, they drive the ball and just going into no man's land. Limerick are just a little bit cooler.
They are. It's just that 10-15 yard pass. You don't have to look 80 yards up the pitch, especially the way the game has gone now.
David Reedy, Tom Morrissey, Dara Donovan. Coming through is Colin Coughlin. Fine young hurler. Tall. And very strong. And also well able to take his point. 10 out of 10. Colin Coughlin, his second point of the match here in Cork.
Yeah, and that's the point, Marty. Before Colin got that shot away, the ball wasn't hit any more than 15 or 20 yards. It's like a small-sided game where you'll have 30 yards squared. You just work the ball around to get the shot.
2 minutes of additional time is being announced shortly. And once again, you just think Cork come within a shout of Limerick, and they just stepped up a gear with ease. They make the right decisions, using the ball, laying it off, simple hand pass. Either that or with the hurley itself, and then you get scores like that from Declan Hannon.
Well, I suppose it's the code that every team in the country are trying to crack with Limerick. When they're doing this now, they're in a bit of a flow. In fairness to Cork now, they've broken it.
Luke Mead, referee, given the free to Cork between the 45 and 65.
There's that man Luke Meade again, Marty there. He's putting in a huge shift in that middle third of the pitch, working and hunting and running, trying to break up Limerick. But unfortunately, Limerick are getting more numbers because the Cork half-forward line aren't tracking back out. They're too far up the pitch.
Patrick Horgan is now a few metres inside his own 65-metre line. Gives a little shrug of the jersey, looks at the city end, looks at the scoreboard as well, 14 points to 8. Just sense he's going to go for it. He's hit it well, but again it's tailing wrong side of the post. That's the 8th wide of the game for Cork. Into injury time now. Luke Meade doing his best to get a touch to it. Picked up by Cormac Busang. And sending that in, sending it wide. And this is the poor decision making again. That's another example of they do it in defence and they do it in the attack. They need to play the ball around and have a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, so disappointing because in fairness to Cork, they're mad to road, they're trying to get on everything, but when they get possession, it's very unlike them that they're just that little bit too wasteful.
Seamus Flanagan from a very difficult angle. Oh, fantastic. He was literally along the sideline. Very difficult angle. Had a quick eye at the post. He said he'd have a go, and look at that. Beautiful. It was 10 points to 8 not that long ago. And you just thought Cork were on the way back, perhaps, into the game, but with great ease, Limerick just stepped up their performance.
One Cork forward, 3 Limerick backs, and they just tippy-tappy the ball out.
Declan Hannon sending it long. And over the shoulder and over the bar. It's Adam English from Doon, in the county of the All-Ireland champions.
Quality forward, he's gotten well ahead of his marker there. You can see up over the shoulder.
He's a grandnephew, of course, of Eamon Grimes, the 1973 captain, so the DNA is there. Niall O'Leary under a little bit of pressure from the short puck out. Conor Lahan again. Declan Hannon, oops, unlike Declan, needing the second bite of grabbing the slither. Coughlin. There's Barry Murphy. Referee has called time after 37 minutes and 21 seconds. Limerick in control, the All-Ireland champions. Under pressure occasionally, but easily the better team in the first half. Cork's wastefulness is a factor. They've shot 9 wides in the opening half, but no doubt that Limerick just easing their way into the dressing rooms and leading by double scores. It's Cork, 8 points, Limerick 16. Don't go away, we've plenty to analyse right after the break.
Yeah, half-time here in Páirc Chaoimh, and it's double scores. Limerick 18 points, Cork 6, and Cork are running at their opponents. They're not always accurate in front of the post, and this man is having an unbelievable performance yet again. Joe, just Garrod Hegarty, he's picking up from where he left off yet again. His position and the shape of the Limerick team, what has struck you about it?
I think Cork are kind of standing off the Limerick half-forward line, really, and it's a thing that we were discussing throughout the first half. Why doesn't a team actually just push on that Limerick half-forward line and just go with them, no matter where they are, and don't worry about what's happening behind? Because I think Garrod Hegarty's getting on so much ball on his own at times, and he's setting up scores or plays or whatever, but when he's actually under pressure, Cork are actually getting a little bit they're getting turned over the ball to them, and they're actually getting some joy. But you see here, now, maybe a puck out, Damien Cahallam is probably looking for it, but like, don't look for the puck out. Hegarty will punish you a lot more than anybody else. So I just think maybe Cork just have to push up on the Limerick half-forward line. And why not? It's only the league. It's not championship. Do you know, we wouldn't worry about it here.
It's like, there's one point worth making, right, is that Limerick are just better at this game, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at that there, see the ball that Hannon played into the middle, you play that to 10 players, right? And 8 of them won't take it the way Haggerty took it, right? So that's the point. That's worth making that point. They're just better at this, right? And they've got more exceptional players. That's a fact, right? Having said that, there are certain things that you can't afford to do with them. For some reason, the Cork half back line were trying to roll over the Limerick half forward line, i.e. they were trying to hold their positions, and when the Limerick half forward is passing, that they'd try and transfer him over. That day's gone. You cannot do that with the Limerick half forward line. The way it was set up in terms of Tommy O'Connell marking from a Limerick point of view, marking Morrissey, then Haggerty and Cahalane. Like, Cahalane is put on Haggerty because he should be combative, physical against him. There's no point in standing off 10 yards then. I think with Haggerty, right, I think you just have to go. You have to go, man mark him, wherever it is. And you're depending. Kieran Joyce is trying to sit back in the pocket. And we all get why he's trying to sit back in the pocket, because he doesn't want to expose the men inside. But Limerick are a step ahead of that. They're playing around Joyce in that situation. So they're absolutely taking him out of the game.
But Dunlog, that last clip that came in there, Garrod picked the ball up nearly in his own 21, right? He finished up with that ball and nearly his opposite 45, and that one player tracked him. So you saying, or ye saying, that Kieran Joyce don't sit, go up to the opposite 21 and leave a huge space then for Limerick to run at. I think Kieran Joyce, yes, he's been made redundant a lot of the time, but even his presence there when the Limerick midfielders are half forward line, break a line, they see him in front of him and they know, okay, I got to tip this one over the bar. They can only push to a certain degree. The issue I would have is when Garrod got the ball on his own 21, ran 50 yards untracked, caught it all on his own, and straight over the bar. That's the issue.
There's no doubt there. That's one of the core points we're making. Someone must go man for man with him, right?
But not Kieran Joyce.
We're not saying it's Joyce. That's what I'm saying at the start of the game. If you look at that half-back line and you line him up, Damien Cahalane is the most physically equipped to take on Haggerty. There's no point in Damien Cahalane standing off him then. He needs to go with him. But the day for a set-up defence whereby you're thinking that the teams aren't going to be able to play around static, it needs to be totally fluid.
Like, the point we're trying to make is actually push up and stop it at source rather than letting it develop the whole way up the field. Do you get me?
I do.
And you're probably hoping nobody tries this against Limerick for further on. You know what I mean?
You'll be happy enough when it comes to the championship to see Joyce, one of our best players out there, standing as well, not getting a touch of the ball.
You can slag him during the break. We'll be back in just a few moments. Yeah, Allianz League Sunday is back tomorrow to review the opening weekend of the hurling leagues, and we'll be also looking back at a busy round 2 of the National Football Leagues. That's from 9:30 p.m. And we've got Limerick back in action next Saturday as they host Clare in a repeat of that Munster final classic of last season. Build up from the Gaelic grounds at 6:30 p.m. right here on Rd.1. Good atmosphere in the ground here at Páirc, 19,516, and there's a young lad telling his friends that Shane Dowling and Joe Canning have cracked the code on how to beat Limerick. Or maybe not. Cork have lost to do. They're 8 points down here at half-time. But hopefully we'll see a better display from them in the second half. And I guess Donal, they have a lot to do, but they probably know where they're going to get change from this Limerick side at the same time.
Yeah, look, like we said at the start, right, we have to accept that Limerick are just better, right, and have some exceptional players. But that still doesn't mean that Cork can't have a more of a fighting spirit about them. There has been some bright sparks. Owen Downey, I thought, at full back, has actually done well. I was worried when I saw him lining up on Seamus Flanagan because there is a huge physicality difference, and it'll be interesting to see in the second half if Flanagan does get a one-on-one. To be fair here, this was good out of Cork. This is the type of fighting spirit. You must engage Limerick in those trenches. You just have no choice. And I would say we did see some bright sparks as well out of Páirc Horrigan and Robbie O'Flynn.
The wides are killing them, Shane, aren't they?
They were. They have a huge amount of wides, but I think the 2 points that we showed there was exactly what you were trying to say, Joe. When Limerick are trying to play the outball, that they did push up and they turned them over in that area. But when all that is said and done, the score is 16-8, Cork have 5 points in play.
I just don't think they're doing enough.
But guys, can you understand the Cork point of view? You have young players there trying to make their place. If they push up and they be brave and they're ripped apart, they don't want that under CV either tonight.
Yeah, but go back to the basics like we said at the start, right? Okay, like Haggerty is the best hurler in Ireland, right? So you've got Damien Cahalane, obviously tasked with that. There's no point in leaving Haggerty get the space that he has. There's just no point.
Yeah, but it's a management, I'd say, decision at the same time. Like, they're probably being told hold your shape at centre back or and the half back line as much as possible. So it does go back, as you said, they're young lads, they're learning their trade, but obviously
but players need to be able to make their own decisions.
I know,
I'd be surprised if Cork were being that rigid with them. Whatever about one player holding the position, there's definitely no point in both Damien Cahalane and Kieran Joyce staying back in the half back line.
For sure, but I'd say management are definitely saying, I don't know, like, hold as long as you can. And
but I still think it comes back to one thing there, lads, right? As I said, if the Limerick half forward line are coming back to field, there's only so far the half backs can follow. After that, it is up to the Cork half forward line and midfielders to try and turn them over. And as we saw from what we said before the break, when you can have someone running 40 yards without it being tracked, that's where I think the problem is.
I know, but they've so many numbers then. If they have an extra half forward line back with their backs, Limerick are so good at just working at their little triangles and working it out. That my point is, it's a league. So throw everybody up.
Would you be happy to leave 50 yards of space in front of the Liverpool forward line?
For a league match, see how you go. Like, what have you to lose? They're 16-8 down. Do you know what I mean?
But with one Cork defender, I get that if on this side and there's a Cork defender on the far side, right, that of course they need to be falling back to protect, right? But you definitely don't want, there's no point in having 2 or 3 Cork defenders filling space. There's absolutely no point in it.
Like, I just think they should go for it. Why not? And if not, maybe the next team that plays.
Shane, just as a matter of interest, have you seen anything different from Limerick in the half an hour that you've seen compared to last season?
I've seen a lot different. They're about 6 or 7 or 8 weeks ahead of where they were this time last year. To be fair, I have to say, Damien, they're so sharp. They're a different team in the league this year than they were last year. I think maybe they probably left it a bit late last year. I think probably Limerick would admit that, but they seem to be flying this year, and it's only the first week in February. And the team that I'm seeing out here is the team that played in Croke Park last July.
It is early doors, Joe, but it does look a little bit ominous from the sharpness that they have at this stage of the season.
Yeah, but as I said at the start, no team wants to lose a game. Do you know, they went hammer and tongs at Galway last year, and I think that was the first match as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they were unlucky to lose that. So if they won that last year, you know, things could have went on to greater things in the league. But I don't think they're too worried about the league. It's about getting minutes into guys, and even Keane Lynch there, we might see him in the second half. But I think they'll be happy enough. Cork at some things will be happy enough as well. Do you know, they've a good few new young guys there. I know it's 18-16 or 8-16, but hopefully they come out and just get a few more scores anyway, start the second half and make a better game of it.
Yeah, we have to wait for Limerick to come out of the dressing room first, Logue. But in fairness, from what you've seen of Cork so far, who has impressed you? You've mentioned a couple of players, but
yeah, well, like I said, like some of the Robbie Flynn has looked dangerous when he's got the ball, right? You know, one of the ways of getting at this Limerick team is you must try and turn them and have them going back towards their own goals, right? That's easier said than done. I thought, to be fair to Páirc Corrigan, when the ball went into him, when he got a decent ball, right? Yeah. And there's no point, you know, there's this thing in Cork that people like the idea of, oh, we're going long, we're going direct. But you don't go long and direct at all costs. And what I mean by at all costs, that you're not giving your inside men any chance, and you're giving the Limerick guys possession.
Okay, in front of a crowd of almost 20,000, Limerick are running back onto the field. So let's rejoin our commentary team, Brendan and Martin.
Thank you very much, Damien. A little bit of a negative reaction with the excessively long half-time that Limerick took, about 3-4 minutes overtime. Massive crowd here. Could well be a record, 19,516 in the opening round of the Allianz Hurling League. And there's already a bit of afters going on, or befores, if you want to call it, between Tommy O'Connell and Tom Morrissey, the Battle of the Toms. Meanwhile, the ball is thrown in, Cork go into the attack, playing from the city end down to the Blackrock end. Ball comes into the middle. David Reedy, but it's Cork that have the possession. 2 against 2 now. Ball breaks inside. Richie English and Páirc Corrigan. Sean Finn lends the assistance. Limerick work themselves out of trouble. That's a good comparison with the way Cork were doing it in the first half. Comes to Garrod Hegarty, just outside his own 65. Goes wide.
Well, Logue said that to go man for man from him. He's right, but it doesn't look like that message got through at half-time. Garrod Hegarty had the freedom of Páirc Keeve there to put his hand up and look for it.
Patrick Collins going long. Conor Lahan getting a touch. Aaron Costello's there. Comes out towards Declan Dalton. Ball really hasn't come his way at all this evening. Darragh Donovan. Half blocked, comes back into the left hand and still manages to get it away, whereas Barry Murphy put into the path of Seamus Flanagan. Adam English still with the one-handed flick, stopped on this occasion by Kieran Joyce. Under pressure, drives it down again to no man's land. The way Limerick deal with pressure and the way Cork deal with pressure is substantially different. And Cork give the possession away so easily. They have no players available here. Good call by Brian Roach. 2 against 2 again. Caught superbly by Patrick Horgan. Taken down outside the D.
It's a great play from Patrick Horgan. 50-50 ball just lobbed in. You see there the pressure coming on. That ball just needs to get even 60-40. Will do him the way he's playing tonight. And he'll get on it. Big difference too, Marty, is the boys are talking there around the middle third of the pitch. Cork are playing with 2 inside, sometimes 3. Limerick have only 1, which means that 2 extra bodies out around the middle third occupying the Cork half back line, which allows other guys to sit back and squeeze the space 50-60 yards from the Cork goal, and that's what's suffocating them.
So what would you do?
I'd play 1 inside, just leave Robbie O'Flynn inside, tell everybody else go out the field, cause a row around the middle third, and just stop Limerick from pinging the ball around spaces like this. See?
And they've loads of options.
They have, because they're not chasing back Cork. The inside forwards have to come back and work as half forwards. They have to do 2 jobs at once. It sounds a bit weird, but that's what you have to do.
Seamus Flanagan, Patrick Collins, never took his eye off it. Sends it down towards Brian Roach. Getting away from David Reedy. Coming down Paris, right corner forward, Declan Dalton. There's an opportunity here. Oh, fantastic! What a shot! Robbie O'Flynn.
Some goal, Matty.
What a goal.
When you play the extra bodies inside, sometimes it works like that. They got the overlap. And Robbie looked up. There's only one place was going. That was in the far corner, right in off the post. Hopefully this will ignite something in Cork now.
Great strike. Limerick won 16 points, Cork a goal and 8. And the crowd of 19,516 are really enjoying this now. We could well have a great second half. Shot down. This is Fergal Horgan. Free to Limerick.
Road Hegarty again, Marty was the man. Winning that dirty ball, we'll call it, filtering it back out to Declan Hannon. Able to get his hands free in the tackle.
Scoreboard, by the way, is now correct. It's Cork 1-9, Limerick 16 points. Shane Kingston coming on for Cork. Cormac Busang makes way. Good hurler. He'll get better with time. It's all part of the experience. David Reedy. Hits it well. And hits it between the posts. 6 points. David Reedy has scored. This was a cracking goal. Watch this. Bang. Unstoppable. Robbie Flynn. You can hardly see it.
Great finish. But he's been playing really well tonight, in fairness to Robbie Flynn. He's been out in front like this.
Good work on this occasion by Colin Coughlin. Brian Roach trying to get it into the hand. It's the 45-metre line, Limerick side of the field. Nowhere to go. In comes Barry Murphy. A hello shoulder from Cork. Easy ball. David Reedy to send over towards Seamus Flanagan. Coming in is Kieran Joyce. Ball bounces off. 65 conceded, or perhaps a wide ball. Umpire says wide.
Well read from Kieran Joyce. See him coming in there. You're the spare man. It's actually 65 came off Kieran Joyce's hurley, but umpire hasn't spotted it.
Patrick Collins goes for the long ball. Waiting for it is Declan Hannon. Tom Morrison just took his eye momentarily. Here comes Conor Lahan. Shooting mightn't be great, but by God, he's giving it everything. And here comes Shane Kingston. He scored spectacular goals in the past. He's going to start with a point, is he? No. Ball is wide. That sudden burst of speed, that great wrist work, the balance, everything is there. All that was missing was the final shot.
Yeah, the Conor Lahan turnover was key as well, Marty, in that middle third. Fergal Horgan is going in. Saying to stay inside the square, I'd say, when they're just poking out the ball.
To David McCarthy. Being put back inside his small rectangle. Goes short. Puts the pressure. Robbie O'Flynn anticipated it. Saw what McCarthy was doing, making an angle. Patrick Horgan was directing it like Johnny Sexton was doing it in Cardiff. He indicated where he wanted it. And a bit like Johnny Sexton in Cardiff, Patrick Horgan delivers in Páirc Queen.
There's again Robbie O'Flynn doing the turnover, and Patrick Horgan then over the shoulder. Class is permanent, in fairness to Patrick Horgan.
But he clearly gave the indication. You could see the hand signals, and I'm sure you could hear the shout down as well to say, give it out, and they certainly did. Half-time score, remember, was 16 points to 8. 17 points to 110 now. And Fergal Horgan is having a word with the keeper, because we noticed a moment ago, and Brendan highlighted that he was staying outside the small rectangle. I think it's going to be perhaps a yellow card here. Cork are introducing another substitute. Meanwhile, at Ryan O'Sullivan, there's a yellow card for the goalkeeper on his league debut, which will disappoint him.
Yeah, something else going on, Marty. He didn't get a yellow card now for not coming around the square. Could be something to do with the ball inside or something. Be interested to see why that was.
Shane Barrett is on. Blarney man, good hurler. Gerard Hegarty saw that the run was being done by Darragh O'Donovan. Pass inside to Seamus Flanagan. He has to work hard for it. Nice pickup, lovely pickup in fact. By the number 10, that's Brian Roach from Bright Rovers. Cork playing with a little bit more swagger that you'd associate with Cork. And the crowd are beginning to respond. Ball into space, Conor Lahan. Declan Hannon. Lahan leaves it behind him. It's an easy pickup for Declan Hannon. And again, he has the vision and the composure to find a player available. Easy ball for Patrick Collins. Goes down the middle channel. Gives it to the number 9, Luke Meade from Newcestown. Good ball, better ball. It's Horgan. Hoggy from the north side of Cork City. Hasn't lost the magic. Maybe he should do a lot more media interviews because he's responding.
I tell you, yeah. He was here last year when they played Galway as well, and he was all fired up as well that night. In fairness to him, he has very high standards of himself. You can see it here in full flow. He gets any chances going between the posts, Marty.
Brian Roach, a lot more on the ball. Gives it inside, a chance that is sailing just to the wrong side of the post. Effort there by Shane Barrett.
Yeah, in fairness to Kingston, on the far side, he's sitting an awful lot deeper as a wing forward, which is helping his half-back line. Giving him support.
Cork have scored a goal and 3 points. Limerick only scored 1 so far in this second half. That might change now. Shoulder to shoulder, says Fergal Horgan. In case you're shouting at the TV and say that's a free for Limerick. That's the signal off camera. Comes across, far as Patrick Collins. With the Catog. Drives it into the Limerick territory. 50-50 ball. Nicely picked up. And away goes Robbie. He is the man. Difficult angle. Sends it across. Oh, Hoggy almost had it. There's an opportunity here. And it sails into the net. Declan Dalton. Father O'Neill's man. Imokilly man. And look at the Cork fans in the 19,516 crowd. Pulling on the ground. Ground hurling is still alive. Back in the net. Game on.
Yeah, great
Limerick,
finish.
17 points. Cork, 2-11. Sides are level for the very first time in Páirc Queen. We thought maybe this game was dead and dusted, gone and dusted, or whatever is the phrase. at half-time. It's come alive. Cork are showing a lot of character here.
Yeah, Marty, and one key thing you've seen with him is their half-forward line is closer to their half-back line now, giving them support, making sure Limerick can't tip-tap the ball through that middle third. They're hunting, but when they get the ball back, they're actually using it better. And Dalton there, super finish. Super finish, gave David McCarthy no hope in the goals.
Declan Hannon has picked up an injury, but for Cork manager Pat Ryan, new manager, new players, several of them new, and some not so new, like Patrick Horgan and Declan Dalton. Patrick Horgan going to take this a few metres in from the sideline, middle of the field. Follow through is good, but from our angle up here, it's gone to the right and wide. This is what happened earlier when David McCarthy had the sliotar and he threw the ball down, and I think it's and he threw it again, and I think this is what the umpires responded by telling the referee that that's not kosher. What do you think, Brendan?
No, it isn't. Yeah, it's all the official match ball, Marty, and to be honest with you, having experience of it, they're all the same down there. The balls are.
Colin Coughlin giving it back. Richie English going long and being forced to go long this time. Nicely picked up, however, by Adam English, and that ball is sent in, and that ball is over the bar. Great score.
Some score. Wins the ball back here, shows great strength, and then has that little glance over that left shoulder. And knows where the posts are, Adam English. Seriously good score.
Short fuck out this time. Aaron Costello and Robbie O'Flynn. In comes Conor Laha. The run is in the centre. The idea wasn't bad, but just Dan Morrissey got in the way. Good work on this occasion by Barry Murphy to Tom Morrissey. Great tracking back by Brian Roach. 2 against 2. The call comes from Robbie. Hoggy is right beside him. The hand pass is back, but it goes out over the sideline.
That's the difference there, Marty. Brian Roach is close to his own goals. When Limerick midfielder takes off, he's closest to him to get in that hook and that block to turn him over.
David Reedy.
Cian Lynch as well is stripped below. It'll be great news for Limerick supporters. He'll be coming in shortly, I would think.
Graham Mulcahy. Changes being made by the Limerick management team. Shane O'Brien on. There, it's going off.
This guy's a serious talent.
Oisin O'Reilly.
Shane O'Brien seen playing Hartley Cup last year. Was getting introduction to the league inside. That won't bother that young man.
Free to Cork. On their own 65-metre line, and again, Patrick Horgan will go back to take the free.
The last few have drifted to the right, Marty, so you'd expect them to start this one towards the left-hand post. Seamus Flanagan is minding Shane O'Brien inside there, as you'd expect.
Patrick Horgan drops it in. Good hands by the keeper. Good vision as well under the pressure. Coughlin. Dan Morrison. Free to Limerick.
So look, there's is in the back, but at least he's trying to get contact, Marty. That's the key. If you're Pat Ryan down there on the sideline, if guys wants to get contact on Limerick players coming out, which is a great sign. Complete contrast to the first half, where they were able to walk the ball out without anybody laying a finger on him. Just slightly mistimed. But the ambition is there to stop him, and that's the key.
Well, I have a cousin in County Kildare, Laura Mulqueen, and this man actually taught her in Rathcoffey. I got the text at half time to say it was in Rathcoffey that Mr. Reedy was teaching, so, and she's very proud of him, so can't say anything wrong on TV.
Well, there's always someone who'll tell you, Marty.
Puck out going to be taken, free going to be taken, I think, by, it's going to be a puck out, I think, from Patrick Collins, yes. Going short. Initially. 50-50 ball. Won on this occasion by Cork. Rushed his shot, I would suggest, Robbie O'Flynn, which is about the only criticism we could level at Robbie this evening, because he's given it his all and scored a goal and a point.
The start of the second half, himself and Patrick Horgan have been the sparks that have gotten Cork back into this one. There's no doubt about that.
Stalemate. Picked up by Adam English. Intended pass goes astray. Hit a Cork player. Shane Kingston comes in comes Aaron Costello. Giving it back. There's Damien Cahalan. That's a good ball. It's that diagonal ball for Hoggy. Getting away from English. Here comes Patrick Horgan. He has the support, but he goes for the score and he takes his point. Sides are level again. 2 goals and 12 points, Cork. 18 points, Limerick.
Yeah, he rolled Richie English again, lovely there. Let's see him that he gets those opportunities, Marty, to swing the hurley any bit at all. He's very tidy. He has huge experience, obviously. And scores more often than not.
Long puck out from David McCarthy. Cork should have the situation under control. Under pressure, good work. Oh, desperately unlucky, Conor Lahan. It did go out, but he gave it everything. Just watch this again.
It's unbelievable skill.
Sideline ball taken by Darragh Donovan. The road Hegarty almost got away. Good work by fullback Owen Downing. Patrick Collins spots the man available far, far away. Down the riverside, it's Shane Kingston. Quick ball. Hoggy again coming out to lead the attack under pressure. David Dalton with Hoggy beside him. Cork have it. Conor Lahan. It takes 2 to stop him. One of them is Colin Coughlin. He did well. Ball hand pass back is not a great one. No foul, says the referee. Don't think it was myself initially, at least. Pass goes astray. Great pressure by Cork. Comes back out for Darragh Donovan. Survives the initial challenge. Thought about giving the hand pass. Gives it over for Adam English. Dune man to Dune man. Beautiful play by Kieran Joyce. Going up into the air. Shane Kingston making himself available again. On the overlap. This is way better, Cork. Kieran Joyce in the middle of Páirc Chaoimh. Sends it over the bar. And the crowd around me. And a crowd at the riverside in the stadium are standing on their feet if you happen to be from Cork. It started with the centre half back, Kieran Joyce from Castlemartyr. And it ended with a great score at the other end.
It did, Martin. You can talk about the league all you like and say it doesn't matter this, it doesn't matter that. Look at Kieran Joyce going down the middle. The Cork supporters on their feet all around us. It just gives them that extra bit of hope. And when they give that simple pass, the likes of Joyce marching up the middle of the field is able to do that.
Brian Hayes is on from county champion St. Finbarrs. What a year 2022 was for the Bars. Led by former Cork star Ger Cunningham. In fact, his son Brian is a beautiful hurler as well. I'm sure we're going to see him during the league. Some of the critics said that the league in hurling was irrelevant. It's not irrelevant in Cork or in Limerick right now. This is turning into a bit of a humdinger.
It's one-on-one inside now as well.
Patrick Horgan is out there in the middle of the field. Shane Barrett, 1 against 1. The ball inside is not a great one. Good control. Who touched it last? Win off a Limerick defender. That's a 65.
Yeah, much better from Cork, Marty. They're committing the bodies around the middle third of the pitch. They're in the game now, so they can play the extra couple up front if they like.
This is the goal earlier, which Declan Dalton pulled on. Here, Huggy heard the call, got out of the way, and Dalton finished it to the back of the net. A beautiful strike along the ground.
You can see how much it means to them as well there. Great finish, and who'd have thought, Marty, that at half-time, when it was 16 points to 8, that we're in a situation now,
well,
14 or 15 left, when Cork are seriously in the hunt here.
We have a real chance, there's no doubt about it, as Patrick Horgan stands over this. Limerick are warming up. A young fella called Cian Lynch, as Patrick Horgan takes that and puts it over the bar. 9 points he scored. Cian Lynch, listen to this, to the reaction from the Limerick fans as one of their best comes on the field. Some of the Cork supporters, I'm disappointed that there's anybody booing at all. That's not acceptable, because Cian Lynch and indeed Gearóid Hegarty are two of the finest hurlers. 3 times an All-Star, twice Hurler of the Year, Cian Lynch, and Gearóid Hegarty, another Hurler of the Year. Puck out from David McCarthy, drops into the Cork half of the field. 9.5, heading towards 10 minutes since Limerick scored. That's due to full credit to Cork. Darragh O'Donovan working hard, coming through the middle, little touch, getting it away, forcing Darragh O'Donovan to come back into midfield to try and gather it. But the work rate by Cork is really impressive. Nice ball up, first touch, bit of a disappointment for Robbie O'Flynn, gives his marker the opportunity to stay there. That's Sean Finn, but the ball is still alive from a Cork perspective. Limerick under pressure. Aaron Costello is the 19, Dan Morrissey is trying to scoop it out. Referee is there watching closely. Limerick have the ball, Limerick have the free. Free out for the All-Ireland champions. Second half has been dominated by Cork. Remember, the score was 16 points to 8 at half-time. Cork have scored 2 goals and 6 points. Limerick have just managed 2 points in 23 minutes of action, 24 almost.
Now O'Leary there just caught very tight, see him clipping the heels of Shane O'Brien. It's a free, all right.
And an unnecessary concession of a free.
Yeah, it's just that sometimes in cornerbacks you think you can try to win every ball, but some you just have to try to prevent the forward from rounding you as such and concede possession. Just a little bit too enthusiastic, as accidental clip of the heel, to be fair to Niall O'Leary.
Once again, it's going to be David Reedy to take the free. Never in any doubt. Indeed, as I look at David Reedy, the Fitzgibbon Cup, it's so important, like the Harty Cup in Munster hurling. Fitzgibbon, and tonight I know in Adair, the 2003 Fitzgibbon Cup winning teams in UL are celebrating their 20th anniversary, led by John Ryan from Kappa White. Hope you're enjoying this game and that you have a great night ahead. And remember your great success back in 2003.
There's a lot of worry down there, Martin, at the moment for Robbie O'Flynn. He's holding on to that right ankle, around his shin bone there. Seems to be a lot of distress.
Well, he has been in front of his man, and every time the ball went in, he really has led. And that goal in the second half, very much the highlight of his performance. And if his departure is necessary, it would be a huge disappointment. Conor Cahalane from St. Finbarrs is warming up along the sideline, ready to be introduced. He can play in the attack. It's an ankle injury that he just picked up and seemed to twist awkwardly. There, you see it there.
Yeah. Just went straight over the top of his. Hopefully it's just ligament damage, but he's in a lot of pain down there, Martin. So hopefully they'll be able to. The stretcher's just coming on there. It's tough for Pat Ryan there. Could be without Robbie O'Flynn for the next 5 to 6 weeks with this. Hopefully nothing broken, just ligaments, hopefully.
We wish him a speedy recovery because he really has been top of his game. There's confirmation that Conor Cahalane is being introduced by Pat Ryan. And Robbie O'Flynn is the player that makes way. And while Robbie O'Flynn gets a warm round of applause, and richly deserved, we just look at the goals here. The ball came into Robbie O'Flynn and he finished in spectacular fashion. An absolute cracker.
It's great. Get it across that far across the goalkeeper like that, Marty, but when you get him pointed towards the opposition goals, the speed and pace that he has, and the skill set obviously that as well. Himself and Patrick Horgan in this second half have really been the ones inside that have helped to turn the tide.
Great concern obviously about Robbie O'Flynn. I mentioned Fitzgibbon with UL in 2003. He won a Fitzgibbon himself with UCC in 2019. Played Harty Cup with CBC. And this means a little bit of a regrouping by the Cork team because they have, like Limerick, they have to refocus. But Cork have decided to form a little huddle here and try and keep the minds focused on the job at hand. They are a point up with 8 minutes to go. Obviously they'll be added time now as a result of this injury.
The big positive as well, I suppose, Marty, for Pat Ryan down there is that at half-time, 2 or 3 minutes before the start of the second half, he came out and left his players inside to themselves. Do you know what I mean? Just to say, look, fix it there. I've given you my views. You have your views when I'm away. And my God, they've shown us here in this second half that there's that bit of steel inside them, the way they've come back.
Pat Ryan from the Sarsfields Club in Glanmire. Just to tell you about what's coming down the track, we've Against the Head. Ireland opened with that wonderful win in Cardiff earlier in the Guinness Six Nations. And if you missed it, you can catch the highlights on Against the Head, plus all the action from the opening weekend of the Six Nations. That's Monday from 8 o'clock. Friday night, 7:35 on RT2. Our cameras will be back down here in Cork as the under-20s host France in Musgrave Park. The build-up is from 7:35 here in RT2. And then we're all looking forward to it. The big one. Numbers 1 and 2 in the world meeting the Aviva. It could be an early championship decider. Ireland against France. The build-up is from 1:15 on Saturday lunchtime. Book your tickets on the couch for the Saturday afternoon. And so far, when we look around this arena, we've seen some wonderful individual displays. But Brendan Cummins, I know we have a little bit to go, but if we were running the clock normally, we would probably be looking at the potential man of the matches. You don't have to decide now, but who was in your head? Who are you thinking about?
I think in the first half, when we looked at it, I think Rod Hegarty had a huge influence on the game. But in the second half, he kind of faded out of it, I suppose, and that he was being tracked after the first 2 or 3 minutes. He's left on his own, and he was kind of snuffed out. But the man unfortunately lying on the pitch out there, Robbie O'Flynn, would have been very foremost in my mind. The way himself and Patrick Horgan as well have been equally as good inside, and the key for Cork always was that if the players went out the field to support the half-back line and midfielders with the green wave coming up the pitch, what were the two inside going to do to beat Kieran Joyce, who was sweeping, and to beat the Limerick half-back line coming back to sweep, and they've been really, really good. And that guy in your shot as well, Owen Downey, in the first half, for such a young man, there was a ball came over the top. I think it was Seamus Flanagan was chasing him down, faced his own goalie, picked the ball up and brought it out to the side. So there's a huge amount of positives so far, obviously, in this game from Cork. And while everybody does have bad things sometimes to say about the league, Marty, these young men are getting a huge opportunity to express themselves in front of a massive crowd here this evening.
You know, Brendan, I've heard so many people say, the league will be unimportant because we have a league in the Munster Championship, we have a league in the Leinster Championship, we have a league in the All-Ireland. You know, we have these sections. But look at what we got here, and look at what the reaction and the love of the game from the Cork and Limerick people to bring us almost 20,000 people. The league does matter.
It does, and you get an opportunity to see the younger players, with Shane O'Brien's gone in there now, Adam English, Colin Coughlin playing for Limerick in the half-back line, all young men that are trying to cement their place for later in the summer. And it does have to start somewhere. When we get in here to the end of April and May, when the teams play each other in Munster Championship and the ground is that bit harder, I think the I suppose the steel is formed in you during the league. And times when you sit in the dressing room as Cork players downstairs there, 80 or 16 points to 8 down, wondering which side is up and which side is down, to know that you have the confidence to come out and turn it around is a huge plus.
Just in terms of analysis, what have Cork done? What is the most important factor from your perspective that Cork have done to turn this game around?
I think their half-forward line has played an awful lot closer to their own goals. Their full-forward line has been willing to come out and mark the spare Limerick half-backs to make sure they'd no outball. So that condensed the centre of the field, which meant Limerick couldn't tip-tap the ball around anymore, and it wasn't like a tournament game. So I think that was a big part of it in the change. They had the attitude in the first half. They were running around. It wasn't if they were standing. They just weren't set up properly. In the second half, they have had it right, and they've gotten the benefits in the scoreboard. So unfortunately, we see Robbie Flynn going off there. We just pray, like everybody else who's a avid hurling supporter, that man there will be okay to return soon, but he looks very distressed. Sad sight.
Absolutely. We wish him a very speedy recovery. He was having a great game, and Limerick players, Cork players in the crowd here giving him a warm round of applause, and he does look in a little bit of pain. But we wish, Robbie, we wish you well, and we hope to see you back in the Cork jersey very soon. You were playing a stormer, my friend, with a goal and a point. So now, let's see what effect this has had on these players, and can they find that rhythm again that we were thoroughly enjoying. 7 minutes and 30 seconds in all that took, and we indeed congratulate the first aid people and to deal with it so effectively, because we saw Robbie going over in his ankle and it looked very painful. So well done to everybody concerned, but that will be the time or more added on as Limerick take an opportunity to have a go, and that's a very good score. Limerick, Kieran Barry scored that point, and Limerick now bringing in Donncha O'Dowlig, and he's coming on from Seamus Flanagan. Donncha O'Dowlig, of course, is one of the Monaleen players that won the All-Ireland Intermediate title a few weeks ago in Croke Park. A wonderful achievement for Monaleen, and we congratulate them on their success. On the scoreboard, the sides are level 3 times in this opening round of the Allianz League. Dan Morris flicking it forward. Colin Coughlin. Ball into the space again. Cork putting the pressure on. Great work. Again, on the home side. Donncha O'Dowlig was getting his first touch. Trying to push him out over the sideline. And the referee has given the free against Owen Downing. Now he's give the other way. I was wondering. To his credit, I think he just made the signals wrong. That looked like to be a foul.
Just the initial contact, maybe from Tom Morrissey.
Patrick Collins, in front of his manager. Drives it in towards the corner. Dan Morrissey under pressure from Conor Lehane. Lehane gets the touch. Trying to hand pass it back to Conor Lehane. That was a bit optimistic, to say the least, from Conor Cahalan. Colin Coughlin taking too much out of it, and there was actually no need to foul. Tommy O'Connell the guilty party in this occasion, because I don't think Colin Coughlin was going anywhere fast.
He saw him coming though, and he just popped the ball up in the air here. Knew that the contact was coming. And just got himself out of a hole, as it were. He was going to be stood up. Again, part of the learning process for Tommy O'Connell.
Won a Cork, won an under-20 All-Ireland medal back in 2020, and he was at midfield, Middleton man. I certainly think he's played well here this evening. As Limerick find themselves under pressure, or Cork find themselves under pressure, I should say. Shane O'Brien for Kinmallock. Referee has blown his whistle. Sideline ball for Cork. Niall O'Leary from Castlelyne is going to take this. We have 10 additional minutes to be added on. There's a bit of a sigh around. I don't know whether that's from Limerick or Cork, but 10 minutes going to be added on. Coughlin again with that sweet strike of a ball out to the wing for the forward to run onto. Opportunity beckons. It's looking good. It's a great effort by Donegal O'Donnell from Monaghan.
Good score. He's carried his form from Croke Park with the club. He spins it over his shoulder out in front, of course, it sticks. It's one-on-one and gets that yard of space he needs.
Well done for a league debutant in his county jersey. Owen Downey sends it in towards the corner. Conor Callahan. Conor Lahan it was actually that hit the ground. It's picked up by Tom Morrissey. Ball comes loose and available towards Tommy O'Connell. Tommy trying to get the hand pass inside, and it's good hands. There's an opportunity for Cork. Limerick under pressure here. Great defending by Barry Murphy. Good work initially by Brian Hayes. Referee has blown his whistle. He's given a free. Picked up off the ground, I think, is the reason for the free. But Fergal Horgan has given a free to Limerick.
That's with Cork again. Trying to get the numbers around it. Limerick do very, very well in defence. You can see all the red jerseys start to come in again. That's another big difference, but just off the ground from Shane Kingston.
Good defending by Limerick. David McCarthy going to take this.
At least as well though, Marty, that Limerick weren't allowed to walk out with the ball like they were in the first half and set up an attack. Cork are committing bodies to that area of the pitch now.
Still plenty of time, 8 minutes to go. David McCarthy. Brian Roach. Twin brother Owen is a substituted good defender. Limerick, however, have the possession. They recycle it from Donegal O'Donnell. Back far is Dan Morrissey. Monaleen and Aha down the road from each other. Kieran Barrett. Line ball is to Limerick.
Kieran Joyce again. It's great work. Great tracking across. Look at that. Hurley, head up, eye on the ball. Complete commitment to the cause.
Not too many options available to Kieran Barrett. Nice, very nice skill. Comes back for his own Downey. First touch here was vital. Second one isn't bad either. This is better from Cork. Ball is sent in, has it the legs. There's a touch required. David McCarthy did rather well with that ball that came in from Conor Lahan. And Sean Finn gives it first Dan Morrissey. Colin Coughlin. Strong in the challenge. Cian Lynch. Hand passing it back first, Tom Morrissey. Lynch is available again. Wrong option taken. Don't say that too many times about a Limerick player, but there's nobody in there now. Richie English sends it into the centre. Limerick seem to have got their rhythm back. They've also got the time to look around and spray the ball around. First, Kieran Barrett. Still Barrett. Advantage being given. Advantage means a free for Limerick now.
Yeah, just again the push in the back, the left hand grabbing. It's just a free. It's a great goalkeeping there. Very decisive, Dave McCarthy, because as I know from many moons ago with Patrick Horgan, see the flick, he actually got a flick on it, Patrick Horgan did, but Dave McCarthy got to the ball at his highest point. It's good goalkeeping.
Keeper did well. As David Reedy is going to take this free. Full marks to a man that I know he got a man of the match award for his performance against Tipperary back in 2015 in the Munster Under-21 Championship. David Reedy maintains that level of consistency. He puts it between the posts once again. Limerick back with a 2-point advantage. Less than 5 minutes to go now. Can Cork find their mojo again? Dan Morrissey winning the battle. High up in the air, Cian Lynch. Nice ball inside. Nice overlap, nice effort, but the ball comes back up the post. Niall O'Leary. Comes far Damien Cahalane. Long ball down towards Shane Kingston. Referee blows the whistle between the D and the 45-metre line. Opportunity again for Cork to reduce down Limerick's lead. Patrick Horgan lifting, striking and scoring. 10 points on a February evening on the banks of the River Lee. 1 point between the teams. Just about 3 minutes left. Possession now crucial for both teams. And Cork have it. They retain it. And they go charging forward with Conor Cahalane sending the ball in. It was a small deflection. Good work by Conor Lahan. He has the confidence. Has he got the accuracy? Yes, he has. He's the man from East Cork, from downtown Middleton. He had the confidence here, having won the possession, to turn and shoot.
Well done, Conor Cahalane. Don't shoot yourself, give it to the shooter. He did that.
4 times they've been level. Now, I know I said it a moment ago, but again, possession is crucial. Cian Lynch pushing the player away. No free given. Pat Ryan is animated along the sideline. I can understand his anxiety. Ball comes in for Darragh Donovan. Trying to make a little bit of space. Half blocked by Patrick Horgan. He's out in the middle of the field, Hoggy. And away come Cork. Can they get a winner here? Ball is sent in, but the ball is sent wide from Shane Barrett. The Blarney man had an opportunity to be a hero in the headlines in the papers tomorrow. But there's still time. Still time. In a humdinger of a match. Here comes David Reedy. Ball outside. There's an opportunity for Limerick. Sending it in, and the ball is sent wide.
Another player down. It's Cramper.
Another player down injured.
Hamstring Luke Meade. I'm not surprised. He's covered every single blade of grass. Look at Luke Meade across. Both himself and O'Callaghan in the corner there. We're putting the pressure on. He's cramped out. They're playing on though.
Playing on now. Just over a minute to go. Cork down to 14 players right now. Here comes the Glen Rovers man, Owen Downey. Getting by the first challenge. Decides to give it Welling. Dropping it in around the D. Conor Lahan chasing after. Can he get a touch? Limerick under pressure. Cork fans claiming a penalty. They're not going to get it. Referee Fergal Horgan is watching closely. Ball goes along the end line and Limerick survive. It's like a championship match now. It's only the 3rd or 4th of February. Ball out over the sideline.
Great tackle. Great tackle. Conor Cahalane there, I think, was the one who put Donovan out. Cork supporters are up. Richie gave a sliding tackle there.
Limerick were under pressure here. They were under the cosh, but somehow they managed to get it out.
English off the line as well there, Marty, to finish it at. Cork are going quick.
Conor Cahalane. Conor Lahan gives it to Patrick Horgan, giving it back. Shane Kingston heading past the 20. He's got away from his challenge. Is this the winner? Cork! Shane Kingston! Hero! The Rebels are back. Are the All-Ireland champions going to be beaten in their very first Allianz League game of 2023? Remarkable. The referee, Fergal Horgan, is looking at his watch. The crowd of 19,516 are on their feet. Kingston the man. Cork the winners. Limerick the All-Ireland champions beaten for the very first time in 2023. Pat Ryan, the manager, goes down and compliments, I'm sure, John Kiley, but also commiserates. They love their hurling in Cork. And by God, the passion that was in that dressing room at half-time was certainly a factor. The big headline tomorrow, Limerick All-Ireland champions beaten by Cork, who were down double scores at half-time. But they look at the scoreboard tonight and they look at it tomorrow, and Cork have beaten Limerick and given everybody in the game of hurling a new lease of life. Full-time score, Cork 2 goals, 17 points, Limerick 22 points. A season to look forward to. We'll be right back.
It was a great day for Ireland in Cardiff earlier. If you can catch all the highlights on Against the Head, plus all the action from the opening weekend of the Six Nations. That's Monday from 8. And then next Friday evening we're back in Cork as our under-20s host France in Musgrave Park. That's from 7:35 p.m. Next Saturday it's Ireland versus France in the Aviva. That's 1:15 Saturday lunchtime. Shane Kingston. What a great point for Cork to edge a 1-point win for his side and send a home fans delirious. Nearly 20,000 people here for the start of February. These two guys will meet again later in the season, but it's been a good start for the home side here, Páirc tonight. And central to that win was a man who's been here for so long, one of the giants of the modern game. Patrick Horgan was man of the match, player of the match, and he's with Damien O'Meara right now.
Patrick, 8 points down at half-time. To win by 1 on any day is a good day, but against the All-Ireland champions, how significant a win is that for this group?
Yeah, brilliant. I suppose the first half, being down by 8 points, we didn't deserve that. I thought we played well for like 25 minutes, lost away for the last 5-10 minutes, and you can't give Limerick any time to gather momentum like that, and they punished us. So at half-time, the message, I suppose, was just keep doing the same thing, keep driving on, going to the ball, and we'll get our chances, and thankfully we did, and we took them. So
the conversion rate, maybe the shot selections in the first half, did that let you down slightly?
Yeah, like first game of the season, really, and I suppose things are happening fast enough out there, and there was no wrong decision really. I think we done the right thing a lot. Just didn't work out in the first half with a couple of shots, but still, even the second half, we were still in, we were saying, if we get those opportunities again, take those opportunities, because they don't come too easy.
The key to it is, though, not to take away from it, it is only the opening weekend. It's about how you build on this now.
Yeah, 100%. No matter what happened tonight, we've a lot of work to do. We know that going forward, and it's on to Galway next now, and we've a hard week's training, and we'll try to learn a lot from this, as playing against Limerick is they're the standard, and I suppose anytime you get to play against them, you're learning a lot, and we certainly did.
You've been central to much of what this team has done in recent years. Was there a particular focus in your mind to perform tonight in light of the focus on the interview the day of the Alliance League launch?
Not at all. I suppose I just get a lot of enjoyment out of talking out 3, 4, 5 times a week with these players, and none more so than tonight. Big crowd in Páirc Chaoimh, and get to go out and play with fellas you've trained with for the last couple of months. It's class, and I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Do you regret that openness that day, or do you think too much has been made out of it? Has it been misrepresented?
Too much, yeah. Too much always gets made out of those kind of things, but it's not something I try to think about. The only thing I ever try to think about is how can I become a better player, and how can I bring something to our team and make our team better as a whole. And I'm going to continue to do that, and whatever else happens, I don't really care.
Big win tonight. You're also our Alliance man of the match. Congratulations on both counts.
Nice one. Thanks very much.
That guy is absolutely obsessed with hurling. 10 points tonight, 5 from play, 5 from frees. He never lets up. In general, though, as a team, what did Cork do differently in that second half, Shane, to get them back to such a significant win, in fairness, having been 8 points down at the break?
Yeah, and listen, Damien, stripping off my Limerick hat and everything else and just looking solely at Cork, when they're great to see them come out in the second half and shove it into Limerick. The All-Ireland champions, in the first half, we had good debate at half-time about do you push, do you not push. In the second half, 2 things happened. Yes, they pushed more, but the Cork half-forward line, the difference in work rate, and I know it's a lazy word and it's easy analysis to say work rate, they came back into the middle of the field, and there were so many times in that second half where, Keane, when he came on, Garrod, Tamarsi, they got ball and they were hit every single time. Where in the first half, as Brendan Cummins calls it, they were at the tippy-tappy around the place. But that effort there, Damien, can I just say, the hitting and the physicality that they did there, we saw that in the Gaelic grounds last year as well, but they didn't bring it into championship. That has to be the benchmark for them now going forward. We know they can play hurling, nobody's debating that, but it's that physicality they were very, very good at in the second half.
And Joe, with the goals they scored, they showed they can play hurling. They really had a cut in the second half, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and as you see, the sombreros are out there again. Everybody standing ovation they got going off the field, yeah. But as Shane said, right, what they done the second half, that's what they need to do for the rest of the season. There's no point in having a good moral victory here today by a point against Limerick. And don't get me wrong, Limerick are missing a good few players now. Limerick
That's a finish you'd be proud of, Joe, in fairness.
Yeah. Great finish by Robbie O'Flynn. And just on that, I hope he's okay. We all send him his best wishes, because it's sad to see him going off like that this evening. But hopefully it's nothing too serious anyway. But yeah, no, for sure. They took it on. They created a lot. And in fairness, they put Limerick under pressure in the key areas around the middle of the field. And you saw Hegarty being taken off, didn't get the freedom of the park in the second half, or Tom Morrissey. So that's what you have to do.
Don Logue, you've been in several dressing rooms over the decades, and you've seen many tactics and many game plans. Strip it all away tonight. Just for Pat Ryan as a manager, trying to get the attitude, the work rate, the spirit right. I know it's only February, but how big could this victory be potentially?
Look, you want to take everything that you can, right? This is definitely going to be good for Cork's confidence. Like Joe said, they won't be fooled. Pat Ryan won't be fooled. He'll know how many players Limerick were missing there, right? And won't get carried away. But there was lots of reasons to be positive going away from tonight. Mainly the way Cork engaged Limerick in the second half. There's certain fundamentals. Attitude is number one. You must get stuck in. You must take on your opponent. You can't allow the likes of Hegarty get the space he was getting, which he did. Okay, so there's going to be loads of positives to take away.
Okay. Let's see then what Pat Ryan has to say for himself. He's with Damien right now.
In your own time.
Pat, remarkable for this group of players to bounce back. What was the key to that second half resurgence?
I just think, we played well enough in the first half. Had a lot of wides. And in fairness, I think Limerick got a run us there in the last 6 minutes of the first half. And as they do, they're a fantastic bunch of players. They moved the ball well, got 6 great scores just for half time, and put us under a lot of pressure then going in at half time. But our fellas showed, what we asked them to do was play with character and represent the jersey well, and they did that in the second half. There's loads to learn on, loads of learnings for us, loads of mistakes to be made. But it's the first game in the league. It's very, very early. We're still very focused on preparing for the 30th of April against Waterford.
Is your inclination to focus immediately on those areas that could have been better, or do you take more heart from that second half and the character to bounce back?
Exactly. Look, you have to take the positives and all that. I think we're trying to build confidence within the group, and there's loads of time to be working on some of the areas that we need to work on. But I think, in fairness to the lads, I think they dug their heels in, played against an excellent team, and I think our subs gave us a bit of bounce off the bench as well, and that was great.
There was a lot of talk in advance about maybe the need for more physicality, more aerial threat. Are those areas that you're focusing on, or where do you see the areas that Cork need to improve upon to take that next step and bring silverware back here?
We need to improve in every area, to be honest with you. And there are some of the areas that we need to get better on, and we have to deal with the players that we have at hand and play to the strengths that they have. And I think our lads are giving an awful effort for us at the moment, and we're delighted with them. And today was just as a positive thing. We'll put it to bed tonight now, and we'll be back in the field on Tuesday and then prepare for Galway.
Congratulations.
Cheers, thank you guys. Thank you.
Class coach, he knows hurling inside out, but not getting too carried away either, Don Logue.
No, he knows the game. As we said, he's not going to get too carried away, but he will take the positives. Owen Downey, I thought, was real positive there for the whole game tonight. Kieran Joyce, especially in the second half, was excellent. Up front, mentioned that man, Robbie O'Flynn. Like Joe said, we all send the best wishes to him. He was the one fella that when Cork were even struggling a bit, that was taking the game to Limerick and scored a goal and set up the goal. And Patrick Horgan, he still has it.
Still has it. And Joe, Limerick missing so many as well, to be fair. They won't be overly daunted by this result tonight.
No, but I think there's 6 points in the second half, was it? I think. That's not great. But definitely, yeah, they're missing a lot. They even changed a lot of the guys in and out there. Keane came on for Garrod and stuff like that, whether it be pre-planned or whatever. I don't think they'll mind too much. I think they got a good hit out of a lot of guys, good game time, and you saw a lot of new faces as well. So their panel is trying to expand as well as that for championship come.
Your final conclusion, Shane?
Yeah, I just think, the very last play that we saw there in the VT, and Damien, that, the last sideline that Cork got, Don Logue turned around to me and he said, will he go for it? I said, Don Logue, there's only one man in the country I'd like standing over that. I said, and he's standing beside us. But they played a chart and got a great score, so obviously stuff that they've been working on the training ground as well.
Okay, well, thanks very much for your company tonight, guys. Really enjoyed the night. Don't forget Allianz League Sunday tomorrow night at 9:30 with Ivan. Make sure to catch that. But we're off to a cracker. See you soon. Good night, God bless.